Now, our top story, the leader of Iran's Islamic Revolution has addressed the youth in Europe and North America in an open letter. Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei has urged people in the West not to consider recruited terrorists as representatives of Islam. Also, to discuss this further, we're being joined by Imam Muhammad Ali Elahi. He's the director of the Islamic House of Wisdom, and he joins us via Skype from Michigan. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV, Imam Elahi. Now, it's a very carefully worded letter, but it comes at a time when we are seeing this wave of Islamophobia within the West, specifically in Europe right now in the wake of those Charlie Hebdo attacks. How significant do you think this letter is?
Well, I think that this is the right message from the right person and the right time and for the right audience. We know that building bridges of understanding, awareness, and sharing this beautiful information that Ayatollah Khamenei mentioned is very important for this time and for this generation. You see that Islamophobia, definition of Islamophobia is phobia means irrational fear. It is not rational. And unfortunately, this is a disease that it is hurting Islam, hurting Muslims, and even hurting America, hurting the Western world. We know that Islamophobia is not about Islam, it is not about Muslim, it is about power, it's about money, it's about domination. And unfortunately, people get confused because of ignorance and lack of understanding of the Islam. And what the message says that the best reference to realize the truth about teachings of Islam is the Holy Quran. Exactly, that's the answer. This is a book that talks about science, al-ilm, 750 times in the Quran. The issue of science that is the source of civilization. And this is the same book when talks about the qualities of the Creator, about God. Out of that, almost 100 qualities. The quality of Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahmaniyya, that God is merciful, and He is Khairur Rahimin, He is Arhamur Rahimin, the most compassionate, the most merciful. This quality is mentioned in the Quran more than 600 times.
Indeed. Now, Imam Elahi, we're quickly running out of time. When you look at this letter and read it, it's quite clear that the underlying theme here is that Ayatollah Khamenei is telling the youth in the West to think for themselves when it comes to Islam and Islamophobia. Now, why do you think, as Ayatollah Khamenei also alluded in that letter, is the West, the leaders there and the politicians and institutions deliberately trying to create this phobia against Islam?
Well, because it is a business, the business of war, the business of targeting the wealth of the Muslim world. And in reality, we know that those people, those extremists and politicians in the West, one example was just last Friday, the Duke University, that they received even death threat for if they air the adhan from the chapel of the university, and the university officials, they canceled that. So we see this hypocrisy that even this Dr. Karen Armstrong mentioned, that how come when the school in Pakistan with 165 students, they were killed by Taliban, by Al-Qaeda terrorists, we didn't see this demonstration and solidarity and sympathy in France and other parts of the world. So we see this, unfortunately, hypocrisy. And this is by those people that they are targeting the real Muslim. They are not anti-ISIS, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, because we know these are just names that they are using every time for political reason. So if they really were against terrorism, against ISIS, why they don't go and in reality and seriously fighting with them? Why they are attacking us as Muslims, and why they are attacking the teachings of Islam? So I think this message was to show the hypocrisy, the double standard, and this darkness and this irrational fear of Islam. And as the Quran says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you don't know it, go and ask people who have this knowledge. Don't go to the media or those people who already are enemies of Islam and hate the Quran and ask them about Islam. So this ignorance should be removed. And I'm very glad that the Pope talked about it, the letter that the former Iranian President Khatami sent to United Nations Secretary General, and now this mighty message from Ayatollah Khamenei. I think this is the kind of information that we need to share, and especially the audience of the youth, because they are the ones who are confused. They are the ones who are abused now in this terrorist organization. They brainwash or they were taken advantage. And I think that it is a time that we continue to work on this path of promoting dialogue, promoting more conversation, and bringing the communities together, the youth together.
Indeed, I'm going to have to stop you there, Imam Elahi. Unfortunately, time's gotten the better of us. That was Imam Muhammad Ali Elahi, Director of Islamic House of Wisdom, joining us via Skype from Michigan. It's always a pleasure talking to you on Press TV.